Chapter 5. I've always wanted to destroy a bridge. "You can't drop a bombshell like that and walk away!" I yelled as Randolph walked away. Despite his cane and stiff leg, the guy could really move. He was like an Olympic gold medalist in hobbling. He forged ahead, climbing the sidewalk of the Longfellow Bridge as I jogged after him, the wind screaming in my ears. The morning commuters were coming in from Cambridge. A single line of cars was backed up the length of the span, barely moving. You'd think my uncle and I would be the only ones dumb enough to walk across the bridge in sub-zero weather, but this being Boston, half a dozen runners were chugging aloud, looking at the emaciated seals in the looking like emaciated seals in their lycra bodysuits. A mom with two kids bundled in a stroller was walking on the opposite sidewalk. Her kids looked about as happy as I felt. My uncle was still 15 feet ahead of me. "Randolph!" I called. "I'm talking to you!" "The drift of the river," he muttered. "The landfill on the banks, allowing for 1,000 years of shifting tidal patterns." "Yo!" I caught the sleeve of his cashmere coat. "Rewind to the part where a Norse god being my pappy." Randolph scanned his surroundings. We stopped at one of the bridge's main towers, a cone of granite rising 50 feet above us. People said the towers looked like giant salt and pepper shakers, but I always thought they looked like Daleks from Doctor Who. So, I'm a nerd, sue me. And yes, even homeless kids watch TV sometimes. In shelter rec rooms, on public library computers, we have our ways. 100 feet below us, the Charles River glistens steel gray, its surface mottled with patches of snow and ice like the skin of a massive python. Randolph leaned so far over the railing it made me jittery. "The irony," he muttered, "here of all places." "So, anyway," I said, "about my father?" Randolph gripped my shoulder. "Look down there, Magnus. What do you see?" Cautiously, I gazed over the side. "Water?" "No. The carved ornamentation just below us." I looked again. About halfway down the side of the pier, a shelf of granite jutted over the water, like theater seating box, with a pointy tip. "It looks like a nose." "No, well, from this angle it does sort of look like a nose, but it's the prow of a Viking longship, see? The other pier has one too. The poet Longfellow, for whom the bridge was named, he was fascinated by the Norse, wrote poems about their gods. Like Eben Horsford, Longfellow believed the Vikings had explored Boston. Here are the designs on the bridge." "You should give tours," I said. "All the rabid Longfellow fans would pay big bucks." "Don't you see?" Randolph still had his hand on my shoulder, which was not making me any less anxious. "So many people over the centuries have known. They've felt it instinctively, even if they had no proof. This area wasn't just visited by the Vikings, it was sacred to them. Right below us, somewhere near these decorative longships, is the wreck of an actual longship, holding a cargo of incalculable value." "I still see water, and I still want to hear about my dad." "Magnus, the Norse explorers came here searching for the axis of the worlds, the very trunk of the tree. They found it." Boom! A low boom echoed across the river. The bridge shook. About a mile away, amid the thicket of chimneys and steeples of Back Bay, a column of oily black smoke mushroomed skyward. I steadied myself against the railing. Wasn't that close to your house?" Randall's expression hardened. His stubbly beard glistened silver in the sunlights. "We're out of time, Magnus. Extend your hand over the water. The sword is down there. Call it. Focus on it as if it's the most important thing in the world. The thing you want most." Sword? Look, Randolph, I can tell you're having a hard day, but..." "Do it!"